what Louisville can do today. Sam Boo getting the start in the circle. First pitch outside. It is 1-0 to Jennings.
Well, last season, Sam Boo improved her ERA dramatically, but this season, some tough outing against Furman and USF have elevated that ERA.
Jennings tries to put it down, 1-1. Again, Sam Boo from Indiana. Last year was 5-0 with a sub-2.8 earned run average. Last night gave up a walk in just a third of an inning. What did you make of her brief appearance last night?
Well, I was excited to see her enter the game, but didn't get a lot of opportunities to shine. So today she gets the start, very movement focused through her pitches. So she's utilizing that curve to different planes, getting ahead in counts, allows her to use her changeup more confidently, and that will determine the longevity of her outing if she can locate that changeup effectively.
The 2-1 to Jennings. Jennings to the right side, scooped by Alexander, one away. And a nice big first out there for Boo in the circle.
Well, the reason she pulled that ball is because of a little changeup. That changeup we know will be so important to Boo in the circle today. Gets Jennings ahead of it. Little nice ground ball, easy play to start things off well for Louisville.
No real breaks in this Duke lineup. Anna Gold now from Ballston Spa, New York, the junior third baseman. 6 home runs on the season, and is 1 home run shy of breaking the Duke all-time home run record. She is tied right now with Christina Foreman with 35 career long balls. Gold gets under this one down the left field line. Garrity, yes. 2 away.
Well, there's a ton of power for Anna Gold, but she's got to make sure that she attacks pitches in the zone. It's that speed change so far that Boo is able to capitalize on to get these first 2 outs.
Boo now will face Claire Davidson, ACC Player of the Week out of Lakewood Ranch, Florida. Had an RBI double, as we mentioned, in the 7th inning last night to make it 2-1 and really get that rally started. And it's just been outstanding at the plate. Last week at Florida State, hit 500 in the series, 5 hits and a couple of home runs, 0-2.
Well, and I really appreciate the way that she stands in the box. Very unorthodox stance to stand tall, but then as she gets ready to go to her launch position, very quiet hands, very still in her pre-swing motion, allows her eyes to stay still, and a quick release to the ball makes her very effective.
She's reached base safely in 17 consecutive games. 1-2 now to Claire Davidson out of Lakewood Ranch, Florida, Lakewood Ranch High School. Seven home runs this year. Hit 5 all of last year. Led the team in doubles. The 1-2. Nearly hit her 2-2.
Yeah, Davidson is a really dangerous hitter. 50% of her hits have been for extra bases this year. So as she steps in, she's looking to do damage. With nobody on base right now, it's easy to go right at her, try to jam her up on her hands.
Davidson on base yet again. This one nearly goes to the wall, and it does. Davidson rounding first, standing up at second base, and yet another extra base hit for Claire Davidson.
And because of that quiet pre-motion, she is able to go right from launch to contact. She doesn't try to do too much with this, drives it right into the left center gap. I mean, I'm so impressed with the quiet confidence that Davidson stands in the box with. And you mentioned it, Matt, another double, an extra base hit for Davidson.
It's a minimal stride, minimal load, just a very simple swing there for Davidson. Does not complicate things. And now Amita Vega at the plate out of DeBerry, Florida. Sophomore second baseman, was all ACC first team a season ago, and is off to a fantastic start this year, hitting .378 coming into today.
when Vega stepped in and brought a ton of power into the lineup for Duke as a freshman, was able to beat Anna Gould's freshman home run number of 10 by putting up 12 of her own long ball last year.
Freshman single season home run record last year. Vega, though, harmlessly pops out to Hess against Duke. Did see her 7-game hit streak snapped. And she faces the first pitch from Cassidy Curd. Little slap to the third baseman and a nice play. That's Anna Gould. And one quick out. Cassidy Curd, Port St. Lucie, Florida, the left-handed sophomore. What does she throw here, Jenny?
Well, Curt's going to step in with some pretty good velo. She can touch 70 miles an hour, curve to both sides of the plate, but has battled injury in previous years. That lean back in her motion creates a little bit more velo. Just one complete game on the year.
Paige Garrity, the left fielder out of Frankfort, Illinois. Transfer from Auburn, her second year with this program. Spent 2 seasons with Auburn, helping lead them to a pair of regionals. The 1-0.
Well, Curd loves to use that velo from the circle, but more than anything, it's making sure that she is able to locate up in the zone. She's added that rise up in the zone, also throws a fastball up in the zone, doesn't use a ton of changeup. So once these Louisville hitters are able to time up her velocity, she's gonna have to make sure that location is the goal.
She is top 5 in the nation, fewest hits allowed per 7 innings, just 3 base hits per 7 innings for Cassidy Curd, who last year was the D1 softball All-America freshman team and All-ACC first teamer. And we welcome you to Ulmer Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville facing Duke today, game 2 of this best-of-3 series. Match check Jenny Dalton-Hill. The Louisville Cardinals taking their first licks after Duke left one stranded in scoring position in the top of the first. This is a Duke team that has won 25 of their last 26 games and looking for another ACC series win after claiming the win last night and come from behind fashion. 2-2 here to Paige Garrity and Jenny Dalton-Hill. This Duke team certainly has been one to be reckoned with so far, but when you talk to head coach Marissa Young, there's certainly a lot that they feel they still have to prove despite their hot start.
Yeah, you never want to be complacent and let you sit and rest on your laurels, so this Duke team continuing to push.
Called strike 3. What a nice pitch there for Cassidy Curd, and her first strikeout of the inning. In Louisville, Kentucky, Daisy Hess now at the plate for Louisville. Reached base in 9 straight games, including last night. 1 for 2, an RBI run scored. Got things started for Louisville on the offensive end yesterday. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
And watching the way that Hess approaches her at bats, she has that closed stance with that front foot closer to the plate than her back foot. You see that all of her game cards fell out of the wristband. Wonder if back there behind the plate, Torres maybe kept one. Take one back to the dugout.
There it is. She put it in her pocket. Yes, she did.
No, she did not. But that approach by Hess, closed stance, allows a lot of those pitches to feel more like an inside pitch. Very good approach on the inside, and by that closed stance gives her a chance to really turn and rake.
Where did that miss? 2-1 to Daisy Hess, the transfer from Georgia State. Second year with the program, spent 3 seasons at Georgia State, was an All-ACC second teamer last year. Hit .335, hit .341 coming into today. The 2-1 from Curd to Hess. in there, 2-2.
And she was a teammate of Bailey Richardson, hitting down in the 6th spot in the lineup. Both of them playing at Georgia State. Daisy Hess coming over a year ago. Bailey Richardson joining the Cards this season.
Kerr delivers the 2-2.
When you talk about transfers, sometimes coaches want to retool their players when they get into a system. But when it comes to Daisy Hess, and talking to head coach Holly April for Louisville, she said this is not a kid that we wanted to retool. She is very good at what she does, and we just need her to perform.
Pretty good at bat here. She fights off another one.
Well, and when you bring in a seasoned player like Daisy Hess, who's in her 5th year of competition, she's learned how to make in-bat adjustments. She doesn't take a lot of time to be able to make that change. That maturity in plate discipline is so important.
4 hits over her last 3 games. That one outside, 3-2 to Daisy Hess, the 3-hole hitter here for this Cardinals team that is trying to get back on track, looking for their first conference win of the season. Back-to-back 1-run losses to Miami of Ohio and to Duke. The 3-2. Hess. That one falls down the right field line. Hess is turning for 2, and she will get there on her belly. How about a 2-out double? And Louisville with a runner in scoring position here in the 1st.
Well, and it's Hess's 7th double of the year, and they were attacking her on the outside, knowing that she likes the inside pitch, allows that ball to travel deep and just punches it the other way. I mean, that's great mechanics in a swing that likes the inside pitch, but is able to go the other way to get Louisville in scoring position.
So Hess with the 2-out double. Now Riley Frizzell. Transfer from Missouri, 1st year here with Louisville. We mentioned our pregame impact players. We had Davidson and Hess, and they both deliver 2-out doubles here in the 1st inning. We'll see if Frizzell can drive her home. In the dirt, gets by Torres. And inching closer to the plate now is Hess.
Well, I think sometimes as a big hitter in the box in a situation like this, you need to make sure that you're not swinging too hard, because big risk, big reward, yes, but with 2 outs and a runner on 3rd, you just need to punch this ball to the grass to get your team on the board.
In there for a strike, 2-1 to Frizzell. Frizzell 0 for 2 last night, couple of strikeouts, but last 4 games, 6 for 12 with 6 runs batted in. The 2-1. Frizzell out of play, 2-2.
You never want to make an athlete feel less aggressive, but in a situation like this, those big swings for the fences are definitely not what Louisville needs right now. They just need a solid ground ball through a hole, a nice line drive into a power alley, and with an even count, she's got to make sure that she protects the plate.
2-2 to Frizzell. Good quality at bats here from both Hess and Frizzell. Frizzell from Willoughby, Ohio. Helped Missouri reach 3 straight NCAA appearances, including a super regional. Hit 10 home runs in her Tigers career. She's got 8 this year for Louisville, the 2-2.
Yeah, she leads the team in power. She loves that right side power alley out over there to right center. So pitching her outside, she's going to be okay with that. Bringing her in from Mizzou this year, Coach Holly April said, we just need her RBI potential to come through.
22nd pitch now of this inning, and is squeezed by Torres, and it makes
settled in on a lineup, and that is helping production.
Francesca Freeling flies this one out of play. And she mentioned too the whole notion of, you know, when you're juggling the lineup, it can be hard for a batter to kind of trust those moves sometimes, to say, hey, well, what does that say about me? Am I confident now at the plate? Maybe I didn't do well, now you're taking me out, and this and that. Continuity certainly helps both the coaching staff keep their sanity, but also the players help keep their confidence.
Yeah, the players bought into the mentality that Coach Marissa Young was doing when she was changing the lineup. But it is hard to settle into those rhythms. So by this year, creating a more consistent lineup, it is helping production, and more players are stepping up.
Just misses 2-1. One of those players, Francesca Freeling. And that 7th inning RBI single that scored Davidson and Jennings, 2 RBI single for the tying and go-ahead runs. 7th multi-RBI game of the season. Nice pitch there from Boo. It's 2-2.
Yeah, that changeup is definitely a difference maker for Boo. If she is able to locate that at the bottom of the zone and be consistent with it, it will definitely disrupt the timing of these Duke hitters, and that's what she needs to do, knowing they are so good this year.
Right back to the mid of Boo. One away here in the second. One away here in the second. Out goes Freeling. In comes Kelly Torres, senior catcher out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Great leader behind the plate for Coach Young and this Duke team, showing bunt, and it hit her, but she was in the box. So she will come back and do it again. Strike one.
When Kelly Torres does have power, does have pop, she has continued to make improvements at the plate. And I think this year, more than anything, being moved to this DP role gives her an opportunity at times. She's catching here today, but being able to play DP has made her legs a little more fresh and allowed her to be a little bit more powerful.
Went 1 for 2 last night with a walk. Hit by pitch, reached a few times. Great leader behind the plate here for this Duke team. 1-1 to Torres, showing bunt again. Not offer, 2-1. Set off speed again, 3-1.
And Torres not fooled by it. When you throw that changeup, you have to make sure that it's located low and that it spins tight. It's the tight spin that fools the eye, thinking it's velocity coming in.
Puts the bunt down. It's a good one. The flip from Frizzell got him. Good cover there by Alexander. And 2 away here in the second.
Yeah, defense is going to be a key in this one, knowing that Duke is going to try to exploit any of those weaknesses over there at first base. Riley Frizzell does relinquish, get off the bag, go get that nice little shuttle pass over to Alexander covering it first.
Scored 3-4 if you're scoring at home, and if you are, need to find a friend. Sarah Goddard. Senior. I mean, scoring at home, we always say that. You know, if you're scoring at home, God bless you if you are. That is, it's good. It's good, you know, it's good to think about that and get those connections going and keep you engaged in the game.
Well, Matt, are you someone that fills out their scorecard in pen, or are you a pencil guy?
I am a pen guy.
Wow,
I am
impressive.
Pretty confident in my score-taking bill. I am scoring, but not at home. We're calling the game. Nice pitch there from Boo. Appearance. Also had their first All-American in program history. Deja Davis was still with the program, and next year their first Super Regional. Then the next year in 2023. Last year their first time hosting a Super. Top 8 national seed. There's only one more step here. outside of winning a national championship, and that's getting to the Women's College World Series, Jenny. And Coach Marissa Young certainly has that in her sights with this program this year.
Well, and with the way that this team is performing, they're putting together a very balanced effort. Not only have they been good in the circle and very productive at the plate, but this team seems to be very consistent. They are gritty, they fight, and we saw that last night in that comeback win, down 2-0 in the 7th and able to put up 3 runs and then hold on to it for the win.
Marissa Young closing in on 250 wins. Her 7th season, her 6th full season. Of course, we like to forget about that COVID year. 1-2 here to Gabby Holloway. Leading things off here for Louisville, foul away. ACC Network also streaming live on the ESPN app. Virginia Tech having a fantastic start to the season, Jenny.
Yeah, Emma Lemley has thrown the most rise balls, and their staff has thrown the most rise balls in the country. They've hit the most home runs in conference play, and they're going to have to take on Jayla Wright, who we saw very dynamic yesterday in Game 1 here against Louisville. 9 strikeouts of her own.
The 1-2 to Holloway. Swing and a miss. Some high gas from Curd. And that is her 3rd.
Yeah, you normally see Curd attack with the curveball, but high heat, you called it, Matt. Up in the zone with a big hitter, you know that she's going to be vulnerable for that ball that looks about letter high. Continues to climb the ladder, though. Really nice pitch located for her 3rd strikeout of the game.
Back-to-back strikeouts now for Cassidy Curd. Sophomore left-hander now facing Bailey Richardson, hitting .261 on the season. Spent the last 4 seasons at Georgia State, as you mentioned, former teammate of Daisy Hess and current teammate Daisy Hess, 1-1.
And she was brought in to be that RBI producer as well. She has the tendency to swing out of the zone at times, but her job coming in is to be that person to be able to push runs across the board.
1-1 to Richardson. In there for a strike, 1-2. Richardson has started nearly every game at 3rd and has a couple of home runs so far this season. The 1-2 to Richardson. Flared down the right field line, going over to make the play. Good tracking job there by Vega. And 2 away here in the 2nd.
That's a long way to travel, knowing that you're in a new place. You've got to know how far your distances are in foul territory. Able to ring that one in, made it look easy, but sometimes it can be a little precarious as you head into that foul territory, not knowing how far you have to go before you hit the wall.
Vanessa Miller now. 7-hole hitter, looks at a ball 1-0 out of Indianapolis, Indiana, 4th year with the program. Senior right fielder. She's hit safely in 3 of her last 4 games, including last night. She went 1 for 3, was caught stealing on the base pass. 1-1 for Vanessa Miller, nicknamed V. This team looking for a much needed victory today after back-to-back 1-run losses. They've lost 3 of their last 5. Started the year 8-0, but certainly been a gauntlet for Louisville, and it's not going to get much easier. 1-2.
Yeah, when you look at who Louisville does not have to play in ACC play, they do not have to face Notre Dame, Virginia, Syracuse, or NC State. What does that mean? Well, they've got to face the top of the ACC, and those games are definitely difficult, and they have them within their first four series.
Certainly had to replace some key pieces last year, but certainly has an opportunity this year to piggyback off of some of last year's success as Jada Baker flies out for the first out.
Well, when they have those tough games, I mean, Virginia Tech and Duke back-to-back. Virginia Tech right now is the team leading the ACC. And then you've got Duke, who's second in the ACC. Next weekend they play Pitt, and that's exactly where Holly April came from 7 years ago when she was the head coach there at Pitt.
Giselle Tapia looks at a nice off speed. Yeah, for Louisville, a team that went 36-20 last year, their most wins since 2014. 16 ACC wins, was tied for the most in program history since joining the league in 2015. Holly April in her 6th season here with the Cards. 1-0 now to Duke's Giselle Tapia. As we look at April. Again, she was the 2018 ACC Coach of the Year. Spent 10 seasons as Louisville's head coach, Pittsburgh's head coach, 5 years as an assistant as well. That one to the left side of the infield. Hess up with it. Strong throw. Lost the ball on the gather. It's the second out of the inning. Nice play there by Hess.
When defense keeps you in ball games, so far sitting at a score. I mean, this is a situation where, yes, timely hitting is important, but you have to make sure that you shore up those defensive miscues. Make sure that you play clean defense to keep this one within reach.
Sambu has retired 6 straight batters now as we flip it over to the top of the order. And if you're going to have the top of the order up, might as well have 2 outs as Deanna Jennings now at the plate after grounding out her first time. Went 1 for 4 last night, scored that go-ahead run in the 7th inning to provide the final margin. 1-1 to Jennings. Second team All-American last year. Freshman team All-American, top 3 finalists for Freshman of the Year for the NFCA. And an All-ACC first teamer. The 1-1 in there for a strike. 1-2.
And with so much short game being used by Deanna Jennings, she has to be aware of that out-of-the-box rule with her feet. I've noticed that as she runs through her slab, she is out of the box on almost every contact. It has not been called in this series, has not actually been called much around the country this year.
Fouls that one away.
And while we've seen a lot of reviews being used over at first base for leaving early, because that is now a reviewable play, feet out of the box is not a reviewable play. It can only be called live in game by the home plate umpire. So if the ball is down and in, it will draw the attention of the home plate umpire's eye down to that footwork. But if it is not, the home plate umpire rarely catches it.
Outside 2-2. Jennings almost set up outside of the box with the way she approaches. Gets that one through the right side, and we'll see if they score that a base hit. That was hit hard to Alexander, the second baseman. But she did have a play on it. We'll see how they score this one, but Jennings is on with 2 outs.
And with the short game, her job is to just make the ball bounce as many times as possible. Typically, you like to see a higher hop, but this one was looking to just find its way in the 3-4 hole. A lot of power on that swing, but so much speed now on the bases.
Second 2-out hit of the day for Duke, and the second time that they leave the runner up. Already has 5 outings with 8 or more strikeouts this season, on her way to another one this year. faced one over the minimum. We're here in the third as Allie Alexander shows bunt, takes it. It's 0-1. Alexander 0 for 1 last night. Did get on base with a walk. Looks at that one, 1-1. Moving to the starting role at second base following that early season injury to Easton Lotus, who has that wrist injury. A couple of injuries that Louisville's had to overcome. She was Louisville's primary third baseman last year. Alexander was. She was a shortstop in 2022 as a freshman, so she's moved all around there in this Louisville infield. Also a backup catcher, so if you have a job for her to do, Alexander will do it. Joe's bunt, puts it down, making way for the third baseman Gold, and Alexander beats it out. Well-placed bunt, that'll be an infield single.
When you recognize that a defense is playing you back, over there at third base on a Gold is deep. So she drops that drag in the perfect spot, requires all the defenders to crash hard and just too much speed down the line to pick her up.
Alexander is on first leadoff base runner for either team today. 9-hole hitter Kylie Goff, catcher for Louisville, now at the plate.
Now, Matt, yesterday in a couple of games across the country, we saw how leadoffs at first base impacted the end of the game. Because that is a reviewable play, and if you're not a base stealer, and over there at first base, Allie Alexander is not a base stealer. There is no reason to put yourself in jeopardy of pulling a hit off the board, so make sure that she stays close to the bag.
That bunt is down, but no, it's into the glove of the first baseman, Tapia. And unable to get the runner to second base, one away.
Yeah, being able to lay down a bunt is so integral to be able to win championships. If your short game is lacking, it definitely impacts the way that you win ball games. So that right there is something that needs to be worked on for Louisville.
Top of the order now, Chelsea Mack, who grounded out her first time up. Tries to put down the bunt. It is foul.
Well, and what you're seeing right now is Louisville thinks that they have an advantage with short game. Because of that, the defense is going to shift, and Duke is going to play a little bit tighter on Mack. Mack not known for a ton of power. Because of that, defense will be pulled in, trying to take away the short game, and she will just try to punch it through the defenders.
See Gold and Tapia sneaking in there on the corners. The bunt is down. It looked foul. No, it's fair. The runner does go to second base as Chelsea Mack gets the job done, but now 2 away here to bring up the 2-hole hitter Garrity. Looked like that bunt might have started foul, but certainly ended up fair and does the job.
And the placement is everything when you're talking about short game. And as she drops this drag, it does stay just inside the foul line. Remember, the batter's box doesn't have the foul lines listed in them, but the point of the plate extends to those foul lines, and the home plate umpire was right on top of it, so Ricky Sexton got the right call. And
the plate is fair. The plate is in fair territory. But now with 2 away, Paige Garrity now at the plate with Alexander at second. To the right side. Tapia has it. And again, just like Duke, slow go offensively. What's the message here to get this Duke offense going here, Marissa?
I think we need to dial in a little bit and start hunting our pitch. I think we're chasing a little bit around the zone, and we need to be a little more aggressive to our pitch.
Well, and this pitching staff that you've got this year has been off to a great start. What do you like for Cassidy Curd in the circle here today?
I think she's doing a really good job of mixing both sides of the plate and being able to throw it both heights.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
No score, Duke and Louisville here in the top of the 4th inning. And the counterpart for Curd is Sam Boo, who has done a terrific job as well, Jenny Dalton-Hill. She is, again, not necessarily a shaky quick outing last night, but to get the start, to get the nod here today, she's performed admirably here into the 4th.
I actually was not expecting to see Sam Boo in the circle. I thought they would throw out Brooke Gray, the new the freshman for them this year that has been so dynamic. But Boo gets the nod. Just one strikeout on the day so far, but not giving up free passes and making Duke earn their way on.
Claire Davidson at the plate. Doubled her first time up. This one is foul. What do you like so much? You mentioned it earlier, kind of zeroing in on Davidson's approach here at the plate. Kind of really keeps it simple.
She does. She leads this team in home runs, but she's not one of those hitters that is a looming huge swinger when she gets into the box. Very quiet approach, stays in her legs well, and it's a quick release from her hand path, from release to contact. And that quick release allows her to make decisions a little bit later, which gives her a longer look at the pitch. I'm very impressed with just the quiet power and the quiet consistency that she brings into the box.
1-2 here to Davidson, reigning ACC Player of the Week. You also see some of these batters too. Everyone's got their own approach, their own unique stance. That front foot nearly out of the batter's box. What does that allow her to do?
It just allows those eyes, both eyes, to see the pitcher with more clarity. When you stand parallel to the edge of the plate, sometimes that back eye may not be able to see the ball as well. So by opening up her stance, it allows her head to face the pitcher a little bit more with both eyes and give her a better look as the ball is on its way to the plate. A lot of players across the country have tended to go to this open stance. Depending on which eye is dominant, it can really impact the kind of hitter that you are. And so Davidson, with that open stance, allows herself to see the ball a little bit better.
That was high.
But last weekend fell to Virginia. That pressure to perform in the #1 spot, definitely heavy.
Had a fantastic last couple of seasons. That bunt is foul from Vega. So after a couple of innings with each team getting a 2-out base runner, now we have back-to-back innings with the leadoff batter on base. Louisville was unable to get theirs home. Davidson now at first base. Vega popped out to short. Her first time up in the first.
And I think the announcer jinx was in play because we were bragging on Sam Boo in the circle, how she hadn't given up any free passes. And then what does she do in her very first batter here in this inning? Oh, free pass, and starts the inning off with a base runner.
Always nice of you to blame the announcers as an announcer.
It was my call.
Yeah, it was
I
you.
blame myself.
Yeah, we're not pointing the finger, we're pointing the thumb. Davidson gets in there.
Well, and being able to read those dirt balls, so important. She's got 4 stolen bases now on the year with speed over there at second base, puts herself in scoring position with no outs. So right now, Duke definitely in control and has an opportunity to push a run across.
Runner at second base with nobody out here. Vega. That one is high. Mina Vega has a bunch of power. Displayed it last year as a freshman. Set that single season home run record for Duke with 12. She's got 4 this year. The 2-2. And that one is blasted to left. Stumbling, though, to try and make the play was Garrity. And now going to third is Davidson. And rounding third and going home is Davidson. 1-0 Duke. It looked like a harmless fly ball to left. Garrity may have either lost it or simply misjudged it. And we'll call it a base hit and an RBI.
Yeah, that was a routine fly ball out there to left, but Paige Garrity, as she was tracking it, lost her footing. So because of that slip, unable to recover and get back to that ball, I mean, Marissa Young, very aggressive coach on the bases, knows that she's got some speed in Davidson, pushes that around, and Davidson had to wait to advance because she thought.
Again, Duke, which is number 7 in the nation in scoring and runs per game, 7.5 per game. They were held scoreless through the first 3 innings, but you can't hold them down for long. This is a Duke lineup that eventually will come and get you, just like Francesca Freelich did last night with that 2 RBI single to provide the tying and winning run last night to put them in a position today to take the series in game 2.
Well, and Matt, you talk about how this team is so good, this Duke team is so good at scoring runs, but Louisville yesterday held them scoreless all the way till the 7th. So Louisville has figured out how to keep Duke at bay. It was just too much in the 7th. They gave up a walk and then some base hits, come away with the loss. And here today, that miscue out in left field is what allows that run to come across.
Again, a Duke team that has won 25 of their last 26 games. Sitting there 25-2, 6-1 in ACC play, just coming off their first series win against Florida State that they've had in program history. Checking a box and now trying to check another one with another road series win. Freelich to short. Hess out number 1 here in the 4th.
Now that's the defense you expect from Louisville. Very good play over there by Daisy Hess at short.
Vega at second after the RBI double. Kelly Torres now at the plate, who grounded out her first time up. Senior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Sam Boo trying to keep this a 1-0 game. Torres flies that one to right. 1-1.
And Torres is one of those hitters that's a really good spray hitter. She's a complete hitter to all fields. So as this ball comes in inside outside, she understands her contact points, allows them to travel to the barrel, and is not afraid to spray this ball around the diamond.
One to Torres. In there for a strike. 1-2. And you know, Boo's gonna get credited for that run scored. It's going to be an earned run. You could say she earned it with that leadoff walk, but it still should be no score here with 2 outs here in this 4th inning. Instead, it's 1 out, 1-2. Good stop there by the catcher Goff.
And back behind the dish, so important to just be a wall, knowing that that changeup can be in the dirt. But the confidence that that gives to a pitcher to be able to know that they can throw the ball in the dirt, it'll get blocked up. Good job back there by Goff to just keep it in front.
Torres back up the middle. Glove work by Alexander. Runner advances another 60. 2 out. As Vega is now at third.
Well, and that's just textbook hitting. You know you want to hit behind the runner, and so that ball was actually inside on Torres's hands. She got her hands inside that, pushed it to the right side to allow the advancement from second to third. So good textbook hitting, but it does give Louisville 2 outs and just 1 away from getting out of the inning.
Now Sarah Goddard, which Marissa Young said, if there's a player who is ready to break out here, ready to have a fantastic season. Not like 375 isn't already a great year. But she singled out Sarah Goddard as that player in our production call before the series. The 1-0. Goddard to short. Hess again, nice across the diamond to reach half inning there. Sambu and your club certainly deserve better. Tough break there in the outfield. What did you see?
Well, the wind, it's blowing pretty good, and I guess we just slipped a little bit. But Paige, she'll bounce back, and Sam did a great job. We left that runner at second base. That's what we needed to do. So we'll battle back here and hopefully have some good plate appearances here.
Well, and we saw last night a game that we thought you had in hand that just got away from you. What was the message to the team here today?
Yeah, to just be resilient and know that, like, we were right there. We just have to keep battling. We have to keep putting offensive pressure on them. You know, they have a really strong pitching staff. Have to keep battling up there, and there's going to be some failures, but we have to keep working for success and really just to be resilient.
Thank you, Coach. Go get him. Thank you.
Thank you.
1-0 Duke with the lead on Louisville here in the bottom of the fourth. Yeah, temps kind of in the 40s with the wind. It can wreak havoc on you. Play some mental games, not only in the circle, but some games for you outside when you're playing the outfield. Daisy Hess, who has had a lot of work to do at shortstop today. Had a double in the first inning, was left stranded, now leads off this fourth inning. Nice off speed there from Curd. What do you like about what Cassidy Curd's been doing today?
You know, she's just been keeping these hitters off balance every so often, throwing in the changeup. Not throwing it a lot, but keeping it in their repertoire so they remember that this can be thrown. It's that rise ball that's usually a little bit more dangerous. You saw it there. So that rise ball up in the zone, the swing and miss pitch for her. She uses that curve ball into the hands of righties. But using that changeup sparingly just reminds hitters that it's in her back pocket. You're not going to see it typically when she is behind, but in an 0-2 count, she's got room to play with it.
She plays with that one upstairs, 1-2.
I would much rather have a pitcher throw a changeup all the time. When a pitcher's throwing it just once every so often, that's when it messes with my head as a hitter.
1-2 to Hess. '68 strikeouts and roughly 44 innings of work so far this season for Curd. On the softball player of the year watch list for a reason, as she lost her footing there.
Your cleat.
Stick this. Hess blown away by Cassidy Curd. That's strikeout number 5.
Yeah, a little extra velo on that one. I think she got frustrated by what happened and just took this one right down Main Street with a little wiggle at the end. Nice strikeout pitch.
Riley Frizzell now, who struck out in that first inning. And the former Missouri Tiger, 109 games played at Missouri in her Tiger career. That one is fouled away.
Exciting to see gymnastics back in the ACC. It's the first time in 40 years that the ACC is sponsoring gymnastics.
Busy weekend of the ACC. We got baseball, softball, college basketball on the men's and women's side. There's North Carolina in action today against Michigan State on the men's tournament side in Charlotte, North Carolina. Two-two to Frizzell.
Yeah, they call it March Madness, and I know it's for basketball, but with all of these sports colliding this time of year, if you're a fan of just athletics in general, it's hard to keep up with all of the things going on around the country.
why God invented tablets, phones, second and third screens. How did we ever do it with just one television, one box television there in your family room?
I know, and no remote control. What's up with that?
You had to get up to actually we sound old right now. We sound very old. The 2-2 here from Kurd to Frizzell. Kurd cooking with oil. 2 strikeouts here in the 4th.
And there's that rise ball up in the zone. And when you've got a big hitter like Frizzell, you know that she likes that ball elevated to be able to attack and take it deep. But too much wiggle. Late break on this one. Continues to climb the ladder just above the belt. Hard to catch up to. Great strikeout.
6 strikeouts for Cassidy Kurd, and she continues to deal. That 1-0 lead's looking pretty cushy right now in the 4th.
Yeah, but we've seen how both of these teams can score runs, and the Cardinals are very chippy. They want to make sure that they get rid of that goose egg in their conference win column. I did not expect to see no wins for Louisville at this point in the year. It is just their third conference series, or just their second conference series. They did have to play Virginia Tech at home, and that was a tough series. Couldn't pull off a win. And then last night, I really thought they had the win. It was the 7th inning that got away from them.
0-4 in ACC play. They had that 2-0 lead in the 7th inning, and then a 2-1 lead with 2 outs. When Francesca Frelich had a 2 RBI single to provide the win for Duke. Kurd did not get that call. 2-2.
Yeah, that's a gutsy take by Holloway. That one was pretty close. That one had a lot of velo, not a lot of movement. She was just trying to nip that corner and get the call.
To Holloway. Holloway blasts this one to center field, and all Jennings can do is look up and watch it leave. Gabby Holloway, her 3rd home run of the season, and we are knotted up at Homer Stadium.
Yeah, Louisville has not scored a ton of runs off the long ball this year, but the 22nd team home run, and it was a 2-strike approach that she was just striding early, letting her hands go right to the ball. Kurd has thrown with a ton of velocity into the zone, and because of that, all you have to do is connect, and Holloway connects, drives it deep, huge home run, and we're all knotted up.
Gabby Holloway, who just the previous weekend helped lead Louisville to 3 wins in the Cardinal Classic, hit .571 with a couple of home runs. She is having herself a good couple of weeks.
And your job now as a team is to rally behind that kind of long ball potential. And you've got to make sure that you don't try for the long ball yourself here. You're not looking for the home run swing. You're just trying to get base hits past the bat and keep the pressure on Duke.
It was just the 4th home run allowed by Kurd in more than 45 innings of work this season. She'd retired 5 in a row and struck out back-to-back batters before that home run. 0-2 to Richardson. And I will say, I said that 1-0 lead looked pretty cushy. So this one is on me. Apologies to Duke.
Yeah, when you said cushy, I'm like, it's the 4th inning, Matt. We've got a lot of softball to play.
Had a lot of confidence in Kurd. The 1-1 here in the bottom of the 4th, the 0-2. That one sails into right field for the base hit. Richardson. And they're not done yet here in the 4th.
Yeah, being able to pass the bat like this, so important for Louisville. Outside pitch, doesn't even use a ton of rotation on the backside, just pokes the barrel out there over the jump by Vega at second base.
So Richardson now at first base. She's got 3 stolen bases on the season. Vanessa Miller at the plate. Looks at a ball 1-0. Part of this outstanding Duke pitching staff that came into the weekend leading the nation in ERA. A 1-0 to Miller. Good snap there by Torres. Torres has had to do some good work behind the plate, coming out of her crouch a half dozen times at least.
Yeah, she is so good behind the dish. She is an important piece of the puzzle. A lot of energy back there behind the plate. Good wall, blocks the ball in the dirt. I mean, she's been such an important piece of the puzzle for Duke for many years.
Another one is high, 3-0. What are you noticing here from Curd? Seems to have lost control a little bit of this at-bat.
I think she's just overthrowing that rise ball. In previous at-bats, she was overthrowing and getting the ball up and way out of the zone. Those are unhittable pitches, and your eye is pulled off of them, so you don't even get the bat off the shoulder.
In there for a strike. And this damage this inning all done with 2 outs. Curd struck out the first 2 batters of this inning swinging. That Gabby Holloway hit a solo shot to straightaway center. Then Richardson with a base hit to right. She's on first. The 3-1 to Miller. Lays off of that one and a 2-out walk.
When you're feeling this momentum shift, I mean, the way this inning started, it was a strikeout, and you thought, oh, this is going to be a quick inning for Curd. But huge home run by Gabby Holloway has really turned it around for Louisville, and they followed up with a hit and a free pass. So I wonder how long the rope will be for Curd in the circle, knowing that Walker is available in the pen.
And Coach April is going to make a change here. Maddie Grant is now your pinch hitter. Pinch hit for Allie Alexander. Last night she went 1 for 1 with a double. She has 8 hits on the year, but 2 in her last 2 games. So go with the hot bat here from Maddie Grant. Richardson at second, Miller at first. Go ahead run and scoring position. Grant swings and misses 0-1.
Well, Grant has 8 hits on the season, but half of them have been for extra bases. So right now, an opportunity to punch one to the grass and give Louisville a chance to get the lead.
0-1 to Grant. In there for a strike, and now pinch hitting junior from River Forest, Illinois, is in an 0-2 hole. The 0-2 from Curd. Fouled away. Nothing like being a pinch hitter on a windy 40-plus degree day. You come on in with 2 in scoring position, 2 outs, and here we have an 0-2 count against one of the best pitching staffs in the country.
It's just difficult to come off the bench and be able to produce, but your job as a pinch hitter, when you know that that might be coming towards you in a game, you've got to be ready with timing and know exactly what needs to be done at the plate. And Grant is a perfect bat to come off the bench, but it is a unique skill to be able to be potent when you come off the bench cold into the middle of a game in a pressure-filled situation.
Louisville's last 3 batters have reached base. Just 2 of their first 13 batters reached base today. The 1-2. Grant, oh my goodness, Torres.
There's a lot of opportunity back there behind the dish when you've got a rise ball pitcher like Curd. That can set the game into a different motion if you don't have that kind of reflexes back there behind the dish to keep that ball in front.
2-2 from Curd to Grant. Just misses outside. Tough take there from Grant. We're full.
Well, and Ricky Sexton behind the dish has been consistent. He has not called that pitch. I do like that pitch if I were a pitcher, but I'm not. I'm a hitter, so I'm going to go, okay, go ahead, leave that one off because I need a power pitch to be able to attack.
Full count. in there for a call.
Last year, Notre Dame was the lowest RPI to advance at a 45. And so RPI definitely early in a season to be able to be talking about RPI, but it's one of those conversations that has to be had, knowing that if you don't win the conference tournament and get the automatic qualifying bid to the postseason, RPI, an important metric that needs to be looked at throughout the season to be able to make the postseason at the end of the year.
Something that Duke has done for the last handful of seasons, winning that ACC championship in 2021, and they've been to the tournament last few years looking for much more than that. The bar has been raised by Marissa Young at Duke as she has built this program from the ground up. Not about making the tournament, not about making a super. It's about making the College World Series now after hosting a super for the first time last year. 0-2 to Baker, hitting the dirt 1-2.
Well, and that was a great series last year. Duke able to host Super Regionals for the first time. Had to bring in Stanford and Nigeri Kennedy and Elena Votter, just too much for Duke to get past. And Stanford advanced to the Women's College World Series. Duke wanting to make that change. They want to put their name on the list of travel parties. Those 8 teams that head to OKC.
Jada Baker, the redshirt sophomore, at the plate. Louisville just tied things up here in the bottom of the 4th. We're now in the 5th. Baker to the left side and through. 4th base hit of the day for Duke. First of the day for Baker and first of the weekend for the sophomore out of Florida.
Well, and Jada Baker not trying to do too much and just punches it in the 5-6 hole. I mean, because everyone is playing straight up and face these Duke hitters, just her 14th appearance on the season.
Tapia puts it down and gets the runner to second base. The go-ahead run, Jada Baker, now in scoring position after Tapia does the job.
Expect to see that drop ball and changeup used by Holloway. She relies on those 2 pitches to attack hitters, but Duke not afraid to use small ball to get runners into position and then let the bat fly to push things around. But as they flip back over to the top of the lineup, there is not a lot of power in the bat of Jennings, so expect some more small ball.
Top of the 5th here, Deanna Jennings had an infield single in the 3rd, was left stranded. Rounded out in the 1st inning. Had a hit last night. Fouls this one 0-2.
When Jennings leads this team in hits, she reads defenses so well. Knowing that it's a lot of short game, the defense is pulled in. They are crowding her at the plate, expecting her to lay down something like a soft slap or a drag.
Baker at second. Jennings swing and a miss. Oh, what a nice pitch there from Holloway. 2 down here in the 5th.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of response that you want to see out of Holloway in the circle. Getting that beautiful movement on that pitch off the plate, way away, but gets the swing and a miss. Huge strikeout and the second out.
On a goal now with an opportunity to give Duke the lead here with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. That one down and in, 1-1. Anna Gold 0 for 2 today. After a 4-hit weekend against Florida State last weekend, went 1 for 3 last night in the win over Louisville. 6 home runs on the season. That one is pounded to right, but right into the mid of Miller. Duke leaves the go-ahead run. The Louisville Cardinals trying to capture their first conference win of the season. And Kelly Goff, the 9-hole hitter, will lead things off against Cassidy Curd. Cassidy Curd pitched into some trouble there in the 4th inning, but got Maddie Grant, I should say, with the strikeout looking to end it. Did strike out the side, not before giving up 3 base runners, including a solo shot to Gabby Holloway. 1-1 here to Goff. You surprised to still see Curd in there? It looked like Louisville was timing her up pretty good the last half inning.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see the hook come out, actually, knowing that Lily Walker is warm. I don't know how long Curd has left in the circle. She's thrown a ton of pitches, and they look to be sitting a little bit more flat than they were early on. They are hitting middle of the zone. You don't want to hit that much of the plate. But so far, Louisville not attacking those pitches left. Pretty big hittable zones.
Curd now has 15 strikeouts, just 3 walks in her last 2 appearances. That's 9 innings combined. I mean, you can strike them out and not put runners on base via the walk. That's a great luxury to have, especially when you have such a solid team around you, both defensively and offensively. Kylie Goff was 0 for 2 last night. Looking for her first hit today, 1-2.
Well, and these Louisville hitters have a unique 2-strike approach. They stride early and stand in that pretty wide stance and just launch hands from that loaded position. So they stride early, take away any kind of negative move, and just throw hands right at ball when they've got 2 strikes.
One-two to Goff.
And every hitter needs to have a 2-strike approach. You're never going to not have 2 strikes on you, but it comes down to how do you approach an at-bat when you do fall behind in the count.
Kylie Goff, the 1-2s. Fouled off a couple, fouled off a few. Kylie Goff is her 3rd college program. It's been her freshman year at Purdue, last 2 seasons at Maryland, and now here at Louisville. Fouls that one away. Kylie Goff, pitch number 92, up high, 2-2.
Well, that Virginia Tech Duke series is going to be very interesting, knowing that Virginia Tech has the most home runs in the conference and Duke has the lowest team ERA in the conference. So both of those coming together to see who can reign victorious. And I'm excited to see how this game ends, knowing that Louisville still looking and hunting for that first ACC win, coming off of a season where they tied their most ACC wins since joining the conference.
16 wins in league play last year, looking for their first this year. This the 11th pitch of the at-bat. Coming up for the 9-hole hitter, Kylie Goff, trying to turn the lineup over with nobody out.
A lot of teams track that quality at-bat number, but the break-off or the standard for a quality at-bat is a 7-pitch at-bat. Well, now we're looking at the 12th pitch coming into Goff in this at-bat.
Three and 2. You wonder if she reaches here, if this is the last batter Curd will face.
I mean, this is a great battle between Goff and Curd. This season, Goff has kind of pressed to perform, but is recently starting to sink into a rhythm.
3-2 to Goff.
Yeah, protecting the top half of the zone, such an important swing to get that one fouled off. If Curd lets that one sit flat, if it does not continue to rise through the zone, that'll be a hit for Goff.
The 94th pitch of this at-bat. Kylie Goff, the 3-2. We continue.
It's just an impressive at bat to be able to continue to foul those pitches off, not letting anything close go by. These are elevated pitches. She's fouling them off, but if she lets those go, that's a walk. But you can't leave it up to the umpire back behind you.
Once again, the 3-2 pitch to Kylie Goff. Do we have softballs left? I mean, these are being returned.
Yeah, these are not souvenirs. It's not like pro baseball where it's only used
right
once or twice.
And then put them right there and then
in the ball
funnel.
return.
Yep, attached to the, like at a bowling alley, right there next to the dugout. 16th pitch of the at-bat. Oh my goodness. The year is 2027 and Cassidy Curd is still pitching to Kylie Goff.
I sure hope not, Matt.
They've exhausted their eligibility, yet they're still pitching to one another. Cassidy Curd. This is a 7-minute long at-bat, working on nearly pitch number 20 for the at-bat. Goff is, if anything, she's getting good BP. Like, she's seeing a lot of pitches here. She's gone through it. This is like the equivalent of 3 or 4 normal at-bats.
But the key to this at-bat is the fact that Curd does not have a trusted changeup. If she had a changeup, she would throw it in this situation and it would make Goff vulnerable. But with just velocity, Goff is on time. That's exactly what you need to do as a hitter. You are looking for a change of speed to be able to disrupt the timing of the hitter. Curd does not trust that changeup, and so she will not throw it in this full count.
Curd had 82 pitches coming into this inning. This is the first batter of this inning. Number 102, got her!
Wow, low, away. She thought for sure that was a walk. She let it go with confidence. It was a pitch that has not been called routinely by the home plate umpire. Because of that, she lets it go and then realizes this at-bat is over.
The 8th strikeout of the day for Cassidy Curd. Felt like that at-bat was a complete game. Like that was a marathon.
Well, you're seeing
8 minutes and 14 seconds for an at-bat.
Yeah, even with the action clock, you couldn't speed that at-bat up. But when it comes to Curd, that's actually very reminiscent of what's going on in this outing for her today. She's throwing a ton of pitches. I'm looking for a pitcher to be a little bit more streamlined in their approach, and she has thrown over the century mark in pitches here today, and we're just in the 5th inning.
Mack lines out for out number 2. Not a Gold with the glove.
Yeah, over on the hot corner. You got to be ready for this ball right at you. She is. Takes a knee. Throw it around.
We call that a Gold Glove play.
You do?
Yeah, her last name's Gold, and she has a glove on.
Well played. Well played.
Sorry. Paige Garrity now at the plate. 2 out and nobody on. Who's going to blink first here? Between these two teams, you've got the solo home run for Louisville to tie it up. That was in the 4th inning. Now we're here in the bottom of the 5th, closing in on the 6th. And Cassidy Curd has pitched in and out of some trouble, had some interesting at-bats. Paige Garrity now at the plate, and the infield pinching in.
Well, and not only are they pinching in, but it is a shift that they've put on. They've taken that right fielder, moved her to the infield, and you've got 3 defenders over there on the left side of the field, knowing that Garrity's just trying to punch this ball over there on the ground. So they move a defender into the 5-6 hole and also give themselves a defender up the middle.
0-2 to Garrity.
Well, sometimes when you put a shift on, it can mess with the batter, trying to do too much or take themselves out of their game plan. And so this shift, you know that the ball is going to be thrown on the outside part of the plate with right field left open. Curd has to make sure that she locates this pitch away from Garrity.
Now that one nearly got away from Torres.
And as a hitter, you're looking for pitches that tunnel well through the zone, and that pitch that is that far out of the zone, you know right away you do not need to swing because it's out of that tunnel that you're looking for as a hitter.
Last 8 at-bats, Garrity is 0 for 8. A couple of strikeouts, but does have 8 multi-hit games this year to lead the team. Last night she was 0 for 4 in the loss to Duke. Cassidy Curd, her career high pitches thrown in a game, 115. Closing in on that. Garrity to the left side. Shift works for their 26th win of the season overall. Louisville was down 1-0, tied it up in the 4th inning with a solo shot from Gabby Holloway to straightaway center field. And now Holloway in the circle facing the very dangerous Claire Davidson, who gives it to the vacuum cleaner, Allie Alexander. 1 away and a quick one.
Well, you like to see hitters aggressive early in a count, but not on a pitch that's just going to be a routine ground ball, especially a hitter like Claire Davidson, who is so mature in her at-bats, has a ton of extra base hit potential. I mean, good job by Holloway to get her out in 1 pitch. Early in a count, you're looking for a hitter to hunt a specific location. There's times that as you get older, you can hit a lot of pitches, but just because you can hit it doesn't mean you should hit it. And early in a count like that, Davidson needs to be hunting a better pitch.
Nice off speed there from Galloway. Gabby Holloway, should say, and 0-2 now to Amina Vega. Vega to second base. Alexander, first 2 assists here of this inning, 2 away.
Yeah, defense over there at second base, all shored up. Those were some pretty tough hops to be able to rein in and make that look easy. Over there at second base, it can be hard at times to read it off the bat. Does a good job of charging it, picking her hop, and getting the out.
Francesca Freelich delivered that key 2 RBI, 2-out single last night in the 7th inning to provide the margin and provide the win for Duke. Outside 1-1. Her father played football at Pitt. Her brother played baseball at Boston College before being a first-round draft pick in 2021 in the majors. Freelich to the left side and through. Base hit number 5 for the Duke Blue Devils. And the first of the day for Freelich, and a 2-out single in the 6th.
It seems like Duke likes to perform with 2 outs. I don't know what it is about them in this series, but this two-strike approach shows the barrel. It is not to be short game. It is simply to prevent a big load in her swing and make her quick to the ball.
Kelly Torres 0 for 2 today. As Holloway ties a shoe, gathers, and is set to deliver. 0-1 to Torres. Off speed, just misses. You know, Louisville, they have fallen on some hard times. They've actually lost 7 consecutive ACC games dating back to last season, but had won 16 of their previous 18 in league play. How about Daisy Hess?
Tie this game up.
And Cassidy Curd still in the ball game, closing in on her career high number of pitches in a game. It stands at 115, and a very dangerous Daisy Hess. 1 for 2 with an RBI last night. Had a double in the first inning. Looks at that one for a called strike, 1-1.
Daisy Hess is a great leadoff batter for Louisville. She's got power, she's got speed. She has the opportunity to turn things around in one swing at the bat. But more than anything, they're just looking for some momentum. This game has kind of come to a crawl. We're missing that momentum that you're looking for in these kinds of matchups.
Outside, 2-1. Daisy Hess, the former transfer from Georgia State, all ACC second teamer last year. Reached base 9 consecutive games, make it 10 with today. And how about another base hit? Hess rounding first, going to second base, going to be a close play, and she's out. Hess tried to stretch it from a single to a double, and a great throw right on the money from Davidson.
Well, and you know Hess loves the inside pitch. That's why she uses that closed stance. Drives the ball into left, but gets a little too greedy. Beautiful throw coming in from the outfield.
Can't impede the progress. That is a quick review, Jenny.
Yeah, I don't know what we were reviewing, and maybe it was just umpires unclear about where the footing was of Vega over there at second, but she left a great path. I mean, that's textbook on how you should be covering the bag to allow advancement, but that throw on the money. Nice little tag and erases the threat.
So again, if you're scoring at home, it's 7-4 on the out.
And I love aggression on the bases, don't get me wrong, but in that situation, if you see that the throw's coming in, put the brakes on, head back, give your team a chance to gain that momentum. I mean, she was hung out to dry.
And that was actually in left field, making that play. It was Kelsey Zampa in left. So credit to Zampa. Did not get that switch mid-inning.
Well, this part of the lineup for Louisville is very dangerous, and I guess that's why I wonder why Hess was willing to push herself in this way, knowing that Frizzell and Holloway both have big home run potential. So erasing the threat off the bases makes it pretty easy to now attack Frizzell in a much different way.
0-2 in the dirt. Well, for Hess, that was her 6th hit in her last 4 games and her 8th multi-hit game of the season, but it's a base hit, but will be an out on the base paths. Now Curd trying to make it 2 up, 2 down here to start the 6th. They 1-2, swing and a miss. That's number 9 for Curd.
I mean, Curd just gaining new life. You see her stumble at times with that rise ball getting up and away and out of the zone, a very unhittable pitch, but then she comes right back to that pitch right on the corner, gets a swing and the miss. She is looking so good in the circle today.
Now facing Holloway again, 9 strikeouts for Cassidy Curd. How about the switch of taking Claire Davidson out in left and putting Kelsey Zampa in, and right away throws out Hess at second base. That's how coaches look smart, Jen.
Well, whenever you put somebody in the game, the ball will always find them. It's ridiculous how often that happens, but Zampa was ready. Her number got called, and she's like, I got you. I'll give you a nice little strike over to second.
Marissa Young, you know what? It's all good in a bag of chips.
I mean, just enjoying the show. Well, and you know that Marissa Young has so much faith in these players. I mean, last night they were down 2-0 in the 7th inning. Down to their last out, and they come away with a big 3-2 win.
Jenny, those were baked lays. I could identify that bag anywhere. Those are baked lays. And you don't turn down a bag of baked lays mid-inning. I mean, that's how you do it. That's how you stay warm on a windy day. She's living right. Barbecue, I think. Is it wrong that I know exactly what those chips are?
Yes, it is.
2-2, that one off the glove. It's a foul ball.
Oh, and just can't hang on. Torres has been so good on being able to get that rise ball and keep it in the mitt, but it's fouled off. It gets out of the pocket. Can't get that strikeout to get him out of the inning.
Look at the pitch count, too. Cassidy Curd, her season high for pitches coming in was 91. She's now closing in on 130 here. This is to Holloway. Got her! Strikeout number 10 for Cat. Louisville walking this thing off in the 7th inning. If you're a Duke fan, you wouldn't mind a run here, but it's going to have to come with at least 1 out, as that is a quick out from Goddard.
Well, maybe the biggest approach change that has happened is Duke is now attacking within the first 2 to 3 pitches in their at-bats. I like that aggression. However, I want these hitters to hunt pitches. Make sure you pick a side and make sure that you're doing damage on those swings, not just making contact.
In there for a strike. What do you like about Gabby Holloway and what she's done? She's really settled things down, I think, a little bit for this Louisville team.
Yeah, I just like the presence that she's brought into the circle. Very confident, moving quickly through her pitches.
Baker to third and getting some good defense like that from Richardson. 2 away.
And she's just rolling a lot of ground balls, knowing that she's going to fill the zone with the drop and the changeup. Her defense has backed her up well. And so rolling those ground balls, it's hard to elevate against a drop ball pitcher. Knowing that that was kind of what Duke was trying to do, was drive the ball to the outfield. It's hard to do against a drop ball pitcher who's keeping the ball right at the knees.
Tapia down the right field line. She's going to hold it first, as she should, as Miller comes up with it. But a nice 2-out single for Giselle Tapia out of Long Beach, California.
And she's just got 1 home run on the season. It came back against Michigan State. And look at the way that she approaches this pitch. Not a big load, not a ton of torque off the backside, just punches it into the outfield, gets herself on.
Now Deanna Jennings. Yeah, she has waved at a couple of outside pitches. You got to think that Holloway's not going to feed her anything over the heart of the plate. Jennings can do a lot with it. She's not a power hitter, but she's a good slap hitter, but she's waved at a few outside. 0-1. Tries to put down the bunt. 0-2.
And the reason you throw Jennings on the outside part of the plate is because it does take her footwork outside of the box, and you're just hoping that the home plate umpire will see that. She is vulnerable on the outside part of the plate, and we've seen her swing and miss on those pitches off the plate away.
Gabby Holloway today, 2 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, a strikeout. Faced 10 batters. It's 25 pitches, very efficient. Think about that. Cassidy Curd had an at-bat that saw nearly 20 pitches. And she faced Kylie Goff a couple of innings ago. The 2-2. Puts it down, and she's going to reach. Jennings looked like it went off a glove. Now you got 2 on and 2 out as Jennings finds a way to get on base.
Yeah, PFP, an important part of the game when you've got your pitcher working on the fielding practice coming out of the circle. But sometimes when a pitcher throws the leather at the ball, it can deflect. So as the second baseman, Alexander, was approaching this ball, it's deflected by Holloway as she threw her glove out to try to get to it. I think that play could have been made by their second baseman, but with that deflection, it gives Duke a runner in scoring position.
That's the second infield single for Jennings today. And now it brings up Anna Gold, who, if someone is due for a base hit, is at second base. This brings up Anna Gold, who is 0 for 3 today. Outside, 1-0. Again, look at Duke today. Runners on, 2 for 10. Runners in scoring position, just 1 for 7. 5 hits with a couple of outs, but few of those have been with nobody on base. A chance here. Golds looks at a strike, 1-1.
Championship teams know how to put the ball in play. Timely hitting, such an important piece of a championship caliber team. And as Duke sits with the number 4 ranking in the country, this is a game that is a must win for them, or they will fall in the standings.
Outside, 2-1. Gold has reached base in 11 straight games. 0 for 3 today, couple of flyouts and a lineout for the junior. 357 with runners in scoring position this season. The 2-1. Gold up in the zone, 2-2.
I mean, she has so much power. She is 1 hit away from owning the career record for home runs at Duke. But right now, just, you can't think about records. You can't think about home runs. You're not worried about launch angle. You're not worried about driving the ball deep. You just need this ball through the infield and let Terrell over at second score.
Lays off of that one. We are full now. 2 on, 2 out. And a chance here to give Duke the lead in the 7th inning. They took the lead in the top of the 7th last night. Can they do it again today? The 3-2. Goal to the right side. Second baseman Alexander with the flip.
The tie ball game, she's hoping to get her team back in the dugout.
This one skied to left field, under it. Zampa makes the catch, 1 away. We've seen the wind play some tricks on folks. Bailey Richardson flies out harmlessly to begin this 7th inning.
Well, and it was the miscue in left that created the run to come across for Duke. Garrity slipped and fell as the ball was up in the wind. Zampa able to keep her feet, get the out, and keep the threat away.
Now Vanessa Miller at the plate, a strikeout and a walk today. The right fielder in the dirt, 1-0. Vanessa Miller, 5 home runs on the season. 1-1 to Vanessa Miller. This one outside, 2-1.
And the dangerous piece about Vanessa Miller up right now is while she does have home run power, she's very fast. She leads the team in stolen bases. So being able to utilize her legs will help Louisville needing to just get this one on the ground and run it out.
11 stolen bases on the season, now a 1-2 count.
Outs in the air is not what Louisville needs right now. They need to challenge this Duke defense. Yesterday, Duke did have one error in the game. Right now, with Vanessa Miller to the plate, they need her wheels on the bases.
Miller skies this one in the infield. Gold has it, 2 away.
Yeah, you're looking for productive outs here this late in the game. And when you're popping up and flying out, those are not productive outs. But Cassidy Curd with that rise ball is trying to induce those fly outs, those outs in the air, and she's doing a good job of it this inning.
Allie Alexander, who was pinch hit for back in the 4th inning. Now trying to start a 2-out rally here and get somebody on base, get the winning run on base. No home run power here for Alexander, at least have not seen it this season. Did single to reach in the 3rd.
More than anything, when you're facing a rise ball pitcher, you're looking for things down in the zone, and Louisville continues to let that ball go that sits waist and below.
Junior out of Taylorsville, Kentucky, at the plate. 1-2. Alexander had a 3-game hit streak before going 0 for 1 last night with a walk.
So that signal by the home plate umpire is just a call to reset the action clock. They are not going to be visible in the ACC this year, but that is coming next season.
1-2. Cassidy Curd with 10 strikeouts on the afternoon. Still 10.
Yeah, that low pitch on that. It's an inside pitch on a lefty, an outside pitch on a righty. Has not been called here today, but that is a very good pitch.
2-2 to Alexander. Alexander, oh, what a nice snag by Vega. Nice glove work from the second baseman, and we've got
number 2. I mean, that's a tough way to enter ACC play, having to play number 1 and number 2 right off the bat.
Now you got the 3, 4, 5 hitters for Duke. What kind of advantage do they have that they saw a lot of Zabala last night?
Well, they did see a lot of Zabala last night, but didn't do anything against her until the 7th inning. I mean, that's the piece of the puzzle that didn't make sense, knowing how good these Duke hitters are. Zabala had a good game plan against them, was hitting her spots. Just let the emotion of the 7th inning get away from her. They had to make a change. And it wasn't solid. It wasn't crazy solid hits that won that game for Duke. It was a jammed up hit by Freelick that found its way to the grass, that scored 2, gave him the win. I mean, Zabala was so good last night, but did have 8 free passes, 4 walks, and 4 hit batters that made her a little bit more vulnerable.
Well, now you have Claire Davidson, the reigning ACC Player of the Week, with a 2-0 count here in the 8th inning. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, that's the kind of swing I would have put on that pitch too. Anytime I hit I sat with a 2-0 count, I would swing out of my shoes. Loved the 2-0 count, and I feel like I can give away that secret now that it's been, 30 years since I played.
Not that long. No way it's been that long. Maybe 15 at the most. Extra innings this year. Louisville 1-1 in extra inning games. Duke 0-0. This is their first extra inning game of the season, the 2-1. This 3-1 now from Zabala. Davidson, who had a big RBI double in the 7th inning last night, to cut the 2-0 lead in half to 2-1. Davidson fouls this one away. Full count now, 3-2 here in the 8th inning.
Well, Davidson leads this Duke squad in average and home runs. She has been so good at the plate this year, and I think a lot of that comes down to they took pitching off of her plate. She had been a pitcher in years past, but now just worrying about defense and hitting, and it's helped her to be more productive.
That one is way high and bounces off the screen and back to the catcher, Goff. And now the leadoff batter is on for the 4th-ranked Duke Blue Devils.
Well, and this is kind of the same feel that we had last night in the 7th inning. I mean, granted, we're in extras now, but Zabala gave up that walk to lead things off, and then the inning got away from them. And so very reminiscent of last night in a game that we thought Louisville was going to be able to walk away from.
Mia Burgess is now in the game, pinch running. Burgess leading off of first base. Mina Vega 1 for 3 today.
Well, and remember, Matt, both of these teams have not challenged, and because of that, that lead off at first base is a reviewable play. If something happens here, I would expect to see Louisville challenge the leadoff of the pinch runner to make sure that everybody was staying tight to the bag.
And you're saying just making sure that you are not leaving the base before the ball is released from the pitcher. That one is high. 3-0 now to Vega.
Right now, you've got to make sure that you rein in those emotions. Sometimes you can throw through your spin or throw out of the zone simply because of the adrenaline in the moment. And so being able to come back in with a really good pitch here, you know that the hitter's probably not going to swing, but a 4-0 walk,
yep,
that is definitely not what you expect out of the ace in the circle.
A walk to Davidson, and that's 5 straight balls. That last one to Davidson was way high, and then 4 straight to Vega. And now, last night's hero, Francesca Freelich, is at the plate for Duke, and we need to have a conversation in the circle. Freelich showing bunt, puts it down foul.
Well, in that situation, you know it's not going to be a squeeze, so you don't have to bunt a ball out of the zone. If you are sacrifice bunting, you should hold the bat at the top of the zone, out in front so you can see both ball and bat. And if that ball is coming in above, you simply pull back and take the ball.
Takes that one, 1-1. Louisville pitching had issued 1 walk in their first 29 batters faced today. Zabala has now issued back-to-back free passes at a very inopportune time. Francesca Freelich in there for a strike, 1-2.
And that's one of those pitches you should not let go by. That was a very hittable pitch, especially for Freelich, knowing she's got some power in that bat. 3 home runs on the year.
That one is put in play to the shortstop. Flip the third. Oh, what a play! Daisy Hess with the flip to Richardson. And that's about as good as you could have hoped for if you're Louisville.
Well, and your job as a hitter in this situation is hit behind your runners or drive the ball to the grass. This pitch is up, this pitch is away, and because she pulls that ball, it is a a very easy ground ball over there to short. Hess worried that that toss was going to get away from her. She got lucky, got the lead out. But as a hitter, know your situation. Figure out where you need to hit this ball. As Torres steps in, her job should be to drive this ball deep to the outfield, hard line drive, but do not roll over an outside pitch.
That's by my count 7 infield assists for Hess today, who's had a nice job at short. And now an 0-2 count to Sarah Goddard. What started off as a very promising inning. Outside, 1-2.
And a good take. We talked a lot about 2-strike approaches, and Torres, very wide stance, front foot open to be able to just throw the barrel at the ball. Definitely not the way she normally stands to hit.
1-2. This one is popped up. Easy play made by the catcher Goff, and we have 2 away.
2 tremendous outs following those 2 free passes where you thought Duke was going to be able to take advantage, score a couple runs. Zabala responding well after not being able to find the zone well in those first 2 batters.
That was Kelly Torres who popped that one out, and now Sarah Goddard. How about back-to-back pop-ups to the catcher?
Took 8 minutes in her last at bat.
Kylie Goff, that was something we won't see very often, if not ever again. Okay.
Really? You went there because she just fouled off a pitch, Matt.
Okay.
And that's exactly what she did in her last at bat. Fouled off 19 pitches. No, went 9. I mean, just too many foul balls.
Yeah, she fouled off 94 pitches is what happened the last time. That was in the 4th inning. And she just fouls it off again. You know, it was the rare 29-pitch 1-2-3 inning. That's what Cassidy Kern did in the 5th inning. Because of the 20 pitches, the near 20 that she threw. She goes to Kylie Goff with an 0-2 count. So they take out Kern with an 0-2 count, and now Goff try and foul this one off is basically the message from Duke, from Lily Walker. And Goff skies this one, coming in to make the play, sprinting in. That is Terrell.
You wonder if she's going to look to the dugout and be like, really? It took you 20 pitches? It just took me 1.
Burgess, excuse me, playing left field. And Louisville might have a pinch hitter here at the top of the order. Katie Thatcher, freshman from Rock Falls, Illinois.
Well, knowing that Chelsea Mack at the top of the lineup is all small ball, they're looking to exploit a new pitcher in the circle, put a hurt on a pitch, and Thatcher, young freshman, expected to come in with a lot of power this year.
Thatcher looks at that one 1-0. Off speed, and there you talk about that changeup. Can throw it in any count, any pitch, and she did it there 1-1.
Well, and you know that Thatcher is ready to explode on a pitch. 3 of her 6 hits this year are for extra bases, one of them being a home run, and she's trying to end this game in 1 swing.
Off speed, 1-2.
There it is, Matt, that back-to-back changeup. So important to know that Walker will throw that pitch. Is she willing to go 3 in a row? I wouldn't doubt it. I think that would be a great call here to go right back to that changeup against a power hitter. Yeah, she went back to it, kept it low, though. I mean, the kind of guts it takes to go back to back to back changeup, You've got to trust that pitch a ton, and Lily Walker will throw it in any count to any batter.
What about 4 in a row?
Let's see. Yep.
Thatcher to right. Thatcher deep and gone! Katie Thatcher, the freshman, walks it off for Louisville. Her second of the season, beats the 4th-ranked Duke Blue Devils at home.
From the blueprint to the machine, they're the architects of every scene. Building bridges, reaching high. With every design, they touch the sky. They calculate, they innovate. With precision, they navigate. Through circuits and codes, they pave the way for a future brighter every day.
Engineers, they're the masters of creation, turning visions into foundation. With expertise and dedication, they shape the world as their vocation. Engineers, they're the masters of creation, turning visions into foundation. With expertise and dedication, they shape the world as their vocation.
From mechanical to electrical, their knowledge is formidable. They engineer solutions, they never tire, turning challenges into empire. From skyscrapers to satellites, their impact reaches dizzying heights. They solve problems, they innovate. In the world they help facilitate.
Engineers, they're the masters of creation, turning visions into foundation. With expertise and dedication, they shape the world as their vocation. It's not just about the calculations, but the passion that drives their creations. With perseverance they break through barriers, making dreams come true.
So here's to the engineers, the minds at play, shaping tomorrow in every way. Innovation is their currency, they're the architects of our custody.